Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 3SSRTV. We're your host, Peter Terros.
And I'm Chad Phillips, and boy, do we have a great show for you today on C31, because we've got everything from music, travel, sports, video games, and street walk, and much more.
Before we go to that, every single week, you're dressed really nice in the suit, all formal and stuff, and I look nice. I look nice.
Yeah.
But I get asked.
I like what you're wearing. Yeah.
I get asked, why does Chad always look better than you? Okay, so I thought, you know what, stuff it. I'm gonna wear a suit.
Yeah.
I wear a suit. I walk in, and the first thing that I get told was, apparently Alex thinks I look like a gimp. The word for word. He said, I look like a gimp. Now, for those, I'm not going to explain the meaning of gimp.
Okay.
But like, for the ones that know what it is, like, how?
Well, the material.
What's wrong? What's wrong with everyone?
The material's not leather.
I just can't
for
make
example,
anyone.
And you're not wearing a mask of any sort, so.
Well, apparently that's what I look like.
You gotta be.
I just can't make people happy.
You got to be confident with what you're wearing, Peter. I mean,
I'm confident.
Well, if
apparently gimps are confident
too. Well, they're silent, but they're deadly in whatever actions they are. I don't know much about that whole subculture.
I just had a weird visual. Let's please continue.
Yeah, let's please continue, because we're going to go into this week's music with Michael Thompson and special guest Jono.
Welcome to 3SSR Music. I'm your host, Michael Thompson. Unfortunately, Tom Spottiswoode cannot be available this week due to other commitments, but joining me in his place is presenter for 3SSR of Ham and Boat Sandwich, Jono. Jono, welcome to the show.
Hi, Tomo. Thanks for having me.
No worries, man. And you've got some music news that you'd like to tell us this evening?
I do. Just a couple of weeks after it was announced, the Australian iHeart Radio Music Festival has been canned. The festival was meant to take place in Sydney on the 18th of October and boasted headline acts including Miley Cyrus and Redfoo. Now, according to a statement that was issued by the promotion group for the festival, the Dainty Group, they've said that this canning has come as a consequence of another unavailable headline act. So all the tickets are being refunded, Tomo, but I can imagine there might be a few unhappy Foo and Cyrus fans out in Australia at the moment.
Especially because they wanted to see the entire Redfoo Miley Cyrus together.
It would have been fantastic.
It would have been amazing.
In some other news, Kanye West's Yeezus tour, which has gone to Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and Perth, and is going to Adelaide, is coming to an end this week, and Kanye fans have dubbed this an unprecedented success. This success, however, is being overshone by an incident that took place in Kanye's Sydney show. Now, it's being reported by newspapers, online publications and music blogs that at his set in Sydney, Kanye discontinued his show because there were two members of the crowd that wouldn't stand up and join in with the dancing for his music. Now, unbeknownst to Kanye, at the point in time when he asked the crowd members to stand up, he didn't know that, in fact, they were both disabled. One had a prosthetic limb and one was in a wheelchair. Now, I've had a few friends that were at the Kanye show and other witnesses there who have said that as soon as Kanye found out that the two patrons were in wheelchairs, he said that's fine and continued on with the show. But newspapers, including a headline in the Daily Beast, have been producing stories like this one where the headline reads, Kanye West stops concert to yell at kid in wheelchair to stand up. Now, these headlines have been perpetuated throughout all media across the world, and it's really unfortunate, Tomo, because it just goes to show that musicians are still being hit by the media as easy targets for a bit of tabloid journalism.
Especially because Kanye West, even though a lot of people are not a big fan of Kanye West at the moment, he is human after all.
That's exactly right, Tomo. Do you have a bit of music news for us this week?
Indeed, I do, Bodes, and thank you for that beautiful music news with Kanye and all that. And I've got some news as well on Avicii's new album, which he's got with Robbie Williams, which is very interesting. Robbie Williams, who's just wrapped up his swing tour here in Australia, has actually done a song with Avicii. This is a duo that actually no one ever expected to do at all. And Robbie's actually sung the lyrics to The Days, which is going to be off Avicii's brand new album Stories, which is due for release later in 2014. Avicii has said that the album will be released early 2015. The song will be released around November, December 2014, which is going to be very interesting. In other news, Nickelback, everyone's favourite Canadian rock band.
Your favourite Canadian rock band, Tomo?
I love Nickelback to bits. They're going to release their 8th studio album called No Fixed Address next month, and they've got their songs What Are You Waiting For and Edge of Revolution as their 2 sort of promotional tracks for the album. And at the moment, it sounds absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to listen to this entire album in its entirety. Might be better than their last one, which is Here and Now, but Dark Horse is still the benchmark, I think.
Yeah, I don't think you'll be able to split them, Tomo.
I don't think you'll be able to split them
either. You'll be listening to them in the bath with a few candles lit, I'm sure.
Indeed, I will. And also, the Melbourne Music Week Festival will be at the Queen Victoria Market from November 14 to 23, and they've got an unprecedented lineup, including Architecture in Helsinki on the first night. They got Card Copy the next night, and they got The Church, which is a famous Australian 1980s band, and they've got a few other small acts as well. But I think get down to it because it's going to be a great small event and all that. Yeah, which is going to be different.
But sometimes those smaller events are the better ones, Tomo. More
Indeed,
intimate
they will.
with the artists.
And Architecture in Helsinki will be performing their entire new album Now and Forever at that festival as well. In some final news as well. You might have forgotten about this, and everyone has forgotten about it. Hell, even I forgot about it. But the Rolling Stones are on their way to Australia in a couple of weeks' time.
Rolling Stones, Mickey J.
They are right. They're almost here. They sort of were going to come in March and all that, but due to the unprecedented death of Louann Scott, Mick Jagger's girlfriend, they had to postpone their tour back in March. They've rescheduled it for the 14 on Fire tour. They came in October, November to Australia. It's still going to be really, really good. And also in other news, Keith Richards has announced that he's going to be releasing his own solo album in June next year. So there's going to be no Mickey with him at all. It's just going to be Keith Richards. It's going to be very interesting, Jono.
Yeah, no, that'll be. I'm sure he'll have a bit of an interesting take on stuff.
It should be definitely interesting. Yeah. But that's all we got time for this week for 3SSR Music. I've been Michael.
I'm Jono.
And back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, guys. That's your music updates for this week. Jono will be back next week as Michael is going away on holiday for a little while. Tom will be back as well next week.
But right now, we're going to go to a bit of a travel destination with Crystal and Jess as they give you hidden wonders of Australia.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another segment of Hidden Wonders. I'm Crystal.
I'm Jess.
First, some really upsetting news. Our little world globe has gone missing. It's about this big and this wide. If you know its whereabouts, please contact Channel 31. This is a very serious issue. Okay, but more importantly, this week we're taking you on a journey over to my end of the sticks, the Mornington Peninsula. Places including Mornington, Mount Martha, Rye, Arthur Seat, Sorrento, and of course we can't forget the Shazzies and the Carls down in Frankston.
But first up, for all the adrenaline junkies out there, head down to the Pillars in Mount Martha. The drive up the windy roads give you heaps of different beautiful angles of the coastline. The Pillars is a hidden little spot where you can find a whole lot of fun in simply just jumping off high cliff edges into safe waters. This place is just a little tucked away inlet, so it can be accessed via the water or by your boat as well. Heaps of fun, and the walk back up the top is completely fine, I promise.
It's awesome. Has anyone heard of tree surfing? Again, an unknown adventure lies in the midst of the peninsula. Head up to Arthur's Seat and attempt the amazing tree chop adventure at Victoria's Enchanted Garden. An exhilarating experience with a 10-metre elevation navigating through suspended rope, bridges and wire balances. Experience the ultimate green room as you surf through the trees on one of 4 thrilling zip wires, or have a swing on the giant Tarzan. Heaps of fun to be had, and while you're there, attempt the Enchanted Maze. That's a bit of fun too, isn't it?
Definitely. If there is any reason for you to get down to Old Franger, it would be the Frankston Waterfront Festival. No, I'm just joking, Frankston's okay.
Frankston, I love it.
But this festival is a lot of fun. There's something for everyone with live music all weekend. There's a bunch of activities to get involved in, from stand-up paddleboarding, canoeing, skimboarding, to enjoying great food, wine, beer, cider, and even some Latin dancing. But the best thing is definitely the arts, the crafts, and the delicious food market. And I know from experience they have the best cupcakes going around.
Cupcakes.
They do. And also while you're there, because you wouldn't want to have to go back to Franger again, just joking.
It's not that bad.
But definitely check out some of the sand sculpting. The amazing sand sculptures made by professionals all over the world come here, and it's truly amazing what some people have created out of just sand.
It's pretty cool, it really is. So we highly recommend taking a trip to the Mornington Peninsula. Not only do they have all these wonderful things, but the surf is amazing over at the back beaches of Sorrento and Rye. It's so beautiful, the waves are crazy, and even if you're not into the whole surfing thing, try bodyboarding or go on a little adventure through the little caves and rock edges of the coast. You'll find some really cool rock pools and miniature waterfalls. It's really crazy, it's awesome. For a feed, head down to the Portsea pub for the best Palmer in town. These are definitely some must-see destinations for this summer, so don't miss out. Anyway guys, thanks for tuning in, and please keep your eyes peeled for our world globe. The robber is out there and we will find you. Back to you boys, have a good one.
Thanks, Jess and Crystal. I've never wanted to visit Frankston more than what I do right now.
Yes, well, still stay tuned. We've got sports, gaming and street walk right here on 3SSRTV. And you're tuning back into 3SSRTV right here on C31. Stick around. We have got now sports with a very lonely Peter Siros, as John Donahoe is not in this week.
Thanks, Chad. You're right. John Donahoe isn't in the studio right now with me, but don't worry, I've managed to fix the problem. Just a bit of a genius here. Just gonna put that there, and yeah, we're all good. So you fixed it. John's here with me now, and everything's back to the way it should be. Last week we talked a little bit about the bottom three clubs and gave a little bit of a review at what went right, what went wrong, and what they need to pick up in the off season. Now we're going to move on to the fourth last team, which was Brisbane, and the emergence of Tom Rockcliffe and Pierce Hanley was vital for the season for the Lions this year. They were incredible, especially Tom Rockcliffe. I don't remember a game where he was under 40 disposals this year. He was incredible, as I said. Some key exits, though, for the Lions included Rains, Merritt, Jonathan Brown. He's a huge exit, three-time premiership player, Coleman medalist, multiple All-Australians. Some of the good recruits that they did pick up this year was Cripps was fantastic, had an incredible season, not necessarily dominating every game, but he just looked like he was going to be that player that's going to take him further in the future. Beams was another one that looks very good, and Trent West was a great recruit. The premiership player from Geelong looked amazing this year. I think what Brisbane need to find in the off season, especially during trade week, is an experienced backman. With Merritt going away, and there's no one really there to take the big full forward or the centre half forward, position for Brisbane. They need someone to stop the big forwards from kicking goals, and an experienced one to provide experience in that back line is essential. Now, moving on to the Bulldogs, they had an up and down sort of year. Started off very well, and a real improved sort of season compared to last year. Mathematically, they looked like they were in the hunt. Players like Liam Jones, when he was dropped from the side, went into the VFL, absolutely killed it in the VFL level. So hopefully he could emerge as a great tall key forward. You got young players like Jesse Stringer, who I think is going to be a superstar, dominates in the VFL and has had some pretty darn good games in the AFL as well. And Marcus Bontempelli, coming second in the Rising Star Award. This guy is going to be a freak. I think this kid's going to be the next captain of the club. He's going to be a superstar, and hopefully he could take that extra step next year and just to further improve and get some more run and drive out of an already young and really talented Western Bulldogs side. But moving on to another side who didn't really look like they were going to make finals at any point in the season. That's going to be Carlton. But at the same time, they did have some positives. Cameron Wood was a fantastic recruit for them. Rookie listed player, former Collingwood player and Brisbane Lion, comes to Carlton, as a free. He was free, rookie listed player, and dominated. Another positive for the Blues is Chris Judd signed on to stay at the club. Chris Judd's a great player. He's obviously he missed most of the first half of the year due to an injury, but he's come home strong and he's going to look like a very good player. Casbolt. Now, Levi Casbolt, was an amazing pickup this year, or an amazing player in general this season. He absolutely killed it in some games, but in other games he didn't look that great. But I suppose that's the youth and the inexperience talking there. Jared Waite, we know where he's going this year. We don't know if he'll stay or if he'll go. Had one of those sort of seasons where he started off well, his form decayed a bit, went back to the VFL, came back into the side and finished off very strong. We know he's a freak. We know he could play forward and back. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully for Blues supporters, he stays at the club. But anyway, that's all we have time for today. John Donohoe, what do you think about all of this? Thanks, mate. That was great. He'll be back next week as well. Stay tuned for more to come.
G'day guys, Alex Ellerman here. Well, it's been a very quiet front on Australian football lately, so I'm going to talk about every football fan's favourite pastime, FIFA 15. And with me to do this, I have Swin Gamer Sean Harron, who's going to go through everything that is new with FIFA 15. Sean, FIFA 15, tell me, what is new, mate?
Well, FIFA 15, the series has been out for a while, and every game it gets better and better. There's always improvements. FIFA 15, it's a tongue twister, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's going to spread out a little bit more in terms of player control, player emotion. You're going to see a lot more with the character models, especially with the new technology of the Xbox One and the PS4. We've seen that a little bit with FIFA 14, and they're really going to step it up with FIFA 15, and it's looking really good.
From what I've heard, they're actually putting a little bit more better graphics in the game. They're putting more player face recognition, using photos of the players, but they're also doing the same thing with the audience.
Oh yes, the audience, it looks like the crowd is actually going to be there this time. Instead of just, pin-ups or cardboard cutouts, they're actually going to try and get a live, audience feel to every single game, and I reckon it's going to look really good.
It's going to be amazing. It's actually essentially going to be like watching a live game. Look, I always know whenever FIFA comes out, I am locked away for at least a good 3 months, sitting down, absolutely blasting the game. With the player emotions, can you describe more into what is actually involved with this?
Well, with the player emotions, what they've done is they're getting, as you said, images of the different players. And so the players will actually have a real face to them. And they're going to try and get all the pixels and all that sort of stuff. It's all technical jargon, but in the end, it's going to be nice and smoother. It's going to be defining features. You'll really be able to see each individual player from all the different clubs that are available in FIFA 15.
Absolutely fantastic. From what I've heard from a fan's perspective, they've also managed to bring in, as Sean has already said, the player emotions, but this actually is incorporated in the gameplay. So you might have a striker that might miss 1 or 2 chances, and then all his teammates get upset with him, and then that affects his overall morale in the game.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Like, you might be focusing on one striker, but all of a sudden if he misses 2 or 3 shots, or he has a bad free paid against him, his confidence is going to be down, and his teammates aren't going to want to pass to him. So when they do, they're going to be really shifty kicks to him.
Yeah, it just adds that frustration level to the game that is already very frustrating if you're playing on Legendary like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It adds a different level of AI to the game, and I reckon that's going to be really challenging, especially with online matches. Online matches, versing against other people, they've got their players to worry about. You've got your players to worry about. You're really going to have to balance your teams. I know a lot of people don't really like substituting their players because if their star players kick 2 or 3 goals, you want to keep him on there. But most of the time, if he's getting down all of a sudden 3/4 of the way through the game, you're going to have to sub him. Yeah. And so that's really going to change the dynamics of multiplayer games.
Yeah, they've really brought it up to almost a live version of controlling a team in real life. It's absolutely crazy. And look, I'm super excited for the game to come out. I know that everyone else will be super excited for the game to come out. I know girlfriends are a little bit worried that they might not see their boyfriends. For some girlfriends, the boyfriends are a little bit worried they're not going to see them. FIFA is such a wide open game, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic when it comes out. Make sure you get yourself a copy on your respective console. FIFA 15, guys, it's where it's at. Thank you, Sean, for joining me.
It's all right, anytime.
And we'll head back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Alex and Sean, with the latest in soccer and gaming, really. And a quick question for you, Peter. Yep. I don't think John Donohoe would have approved that little segment.
Well, that's...
Would he?
That's because I didn't ask him. I just did it. Anyway, we should move on. We got plenty more to come on 3SSRTV in games and Streetwalk.
And you're on 3SSRTV right here on C31.
That's right, and we have plenty more to come on the show, but for now we're going to head over to the Swin Gamers with Ricky and Sean.
My name's Sean.
I'm Ricky.
And we're here to talk to you about video games. And first up, Smash Bros. Now, when you think Nintendo, you think Mario Kart, you think Mario Party, you think Smash Bros. It's going to be on the 3DS and the Wii U, and it's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of their mainstays. And after E3, me and you both said that Nintendo is going to have the best 12 months. So many first-party exclusives, and Smash Bros. Is one of their biggest. And one of the big drawing cards, I think, is going to be the fact that it's released on 2 platforms now. You've got the 3DS and the Wii U. You're going to have a lot of people buying the game twice, I reckon, to get both experiences. And I think it's going to go a long way to boosting their sales numbers over the next 12 months.
Especially with the fact that the games have cross-compatibility, so you'll be able to use the Wii U title as well as the 3DS title working together, similar to what Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate used to do with Monster Hunter Tri. So you're able to connect the two and be able to play together. It's going to be a similar function for the Wii U and the 3DS, and it's going to make people want to buy both versions of the game. The roster's going to be huge. The roster's going to be 51 or so. That's what they're saying. It could be more, it could be less. You never know unless you actually get into the game and start playing it and unlocking all the characters. That'll be later down the track, and that'll keep people wanting to come back to the game and keep playing the game, and I reckon that's going to be really good for Nintendo moving forward.
Yeah, that's it. That's the key with a lot of Nintendo games, especially Smash Bros, is the replayability and the competitive edge. Everyone loves playing Smash Bros, all of the iterations of it up to this point, and I think this game is going to add more to everyone's love of Smash Bros. It is one of the most popular games ever, really. I mean, people just love playing it, and they really get into it and love just beating each other, beating their friends up. In the game. It's just fantastic, and I think the Wii U and 3DS versions are both going to sell really well, and I think yeah, it's going to be a good end of the year for Nintendo.
Anyway, that's all for us this week. Make sure you check out Super Smash Bros. And you can check us out on our Facebook page. We're going to go back to the studio.
Thanks, guys. Love the gaming segment there, especially the fact that Super Smash Bros. Is having a new game. Now, I'm a big gamer, so we always go a little bit in depth about the games that that are coming out after the gamers.
I can see the twinkle in your eyes
I know,
as you say it. Yeah.
I love Super Smash Brothers. It's so much fun. I can't believe I could play with my GameCube controller now with that new pack that connects to the Wii U.
Oh, that's good stuff. Yeah.
It is. This is your era of gaming now.
Yeah, I am a pretty old man, so but I grew up with more the Sony PlayStation though, so I wasn't as much as playing Nintendo stuff. But yeah, in terms of characters and that, I'd be pretty fascinating to see all the new characters that come about. So
yeah, I can't wait for it as well.
Yeah, but still stick around because we are going to be going to the streets of Swinburne with Georgia and Steffi as they go with Street Walk.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Street Walk. I'm Steffi.
And I'm Georgia, and today we're asking people, what TV show are you most embarrassed about loving?
Let's go.
Now, what TV show are you most embarrassed about loving?
That would be The Bachelor.
Have to be Wipeout.
Probably Gossip Girl.
Yes, that is a great choice. Why are you embarrassed? I love that show.
I don't know, it's probably a girls' show. Chick flick, maybe.
People jumping on big balls, trying to get across an obstacle course, falling over. It's great.
I would have to say I just really enjoy the in-depth conversations they have and just the deep and meaningful of love and how they all just really want to find true love, and I just find it beautiful.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
Really just all the conversation.
That sounds fantastic. Well done, thank you.
Does anyone want to answer a question?
Okay guys, that's another Street Walk. For this week, what is your most embarrassing but loved TV show?
Well, I would have to say When Love Comes to Town, because that was pretty bad, but I watched the whole series.
Yeah, that's bad and you should feel bad.
Yeah, no, I do. Farmer Wants a Wife was way better. Just putting it out there. Now, Alex, what are you most embarrassed about loving?
If I'm honest, I've decided with the first guy, Gossip Girl, definitely.
I'm
Or
embarrassed about loving Gossip Girl.
neither am I really. Also, Pretty Little Lies. I've started watching that recently. That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, that's pretty girly for you.
Yeah, well, I am a girly man.
See ya.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys. I love the answers on Street Walk all the time, and look forward to next week's as well.
Yeah, because we are done for today with 3SSR TV. Join us next week again, but until then.
Until then, you can go on the 3SSR.org where you could restream this show. Also, you can stream all our radio content as well. Also, the app. The app. You were about to interrupt me. The app is very important.
That's why.
Okay,
It's a good app.
iPhone and Android, it's free. Give it a quick look at.
And we're still on the social media side. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well.
That's right. But until then, I'm your host, Peter Terros.
And I'm Chad Phillips.
And that's it. Fare thee well.
Bye.